right, y'all, we're back. We're back for some health this time. So hope that you're ready. I told you, you never know what's going to come out today. So I hope that you're watching. I hope this keeps you like engaged and wanting to watch to see what Miss Monroe's going to come up with next, because you never know. But we're going to do health. So take out your health books, page 138, because we're talking about something very important today, obedience. Obedience is the very best way to show that you believe, okay? So don't forget. The Bible specifically states 2 times, children, obey your parents. Maybe you find it easy to obey your parents face to face, but what about when they're not watching and they're not always around you? Well, Andrew goes camping. Let's find out what happens with this. Since Andrew was a 5th grader, he sometimes got to do things that Emma was too young to do. Tonight was one of those times. Andrew's friend, Nate Martin, had asked him to go overnight camping with him and his father, and Dad had decided he could go. Nate and his dad came by for Andrew right after school. Andrew took his sleeping bag, his fishing pole, his toothbrush, and a change of clothes. Nate's dad took everything else they needed. The campground was about an hour from town. On the way, the boys planned things they would like to do while they were together. Fishing and rock hunting were Andrew's top ideas. Andrew had a great rock collection that he wanted to add. Nate wanted to find bugs for his school project. When they arrived, Nate's dad set up 2 tents, one for himself and one for the 2 boys. He told the boys to look around the campsite for sticks to start the fire he would build for their dinner. After the fire had burned for a while, Mr. Martin took out several packets of food wrapped in foil. He explained to the boys that the packets contained meat, potatoes, and carrots. He put the packets of food in the fire pit. In about an hour, he said, our dinner will be ready. While the 3 waited for dinner, the boys unrolled their sleeping bags inside their tent. They walked down to the lake and threw rocks in the water. Nate found a beetle to add to his bug collection. Dinner's ready, called Nate's dad. While they ate their dinner, Andrew remembered what his mother had reminded him to do. Thank you, Mr. Martin, for letting Nate invite me to come camping. I appreciate your cooking my dinner. It's really good. You're very welcome, Andrew, said Mr. Martin. Nate agreed that the food was delicious. He thought everything tasted better when it was cooked over a campfire. The boys threw away their trash and put the lid on the can so that animals would not smell the scraps. It's not dark yet. Let's go fishing, Nate suggested. Mr. Martin agreed. Only for a little while, though. When it's dark, I don't want you near the water. Okay, Nate mumbled. When they got to the lake, Nate whispered to Andrew, after Dad is asleep, we can come back and fish in the dark. That'll be fun. But Andrew did not think it would be fun. Your dad said we shouldn't go get near the water after dark, and my dad told me to be sure I obey. He won't know, Nate laughed. He sleeps like a log. And your dad isn't here, so he won't know either. Andrew thought about a Bible verse he had learned in Sunday school. Thou, God, seest me. The verse helped Andrew to make the right choice. Maybe our dads won't know, he said, but God will. Mr. Martin called the boys back to the campsite. They sat in chairs near the fire and listened to the sound of the woods. They heard tree frogs, crickets, and an owl. Time for bed, boys. You can get up at sunrise and catch our breakfast in the lake, Mr. Martin said. As soon as Nate thought his dad was asleep, he nudged Andrew. Let's go fishing, he whispered. Andrew sat up in his sleeping bag. He looked at Nate and said, No, Nate. I'm glad you asked me to come camping with you, and I'm having a good time, but I am not going to disobey my dad or your dad. You are my friend, and I hope we can stay friends, but I will not go fishing with you tonight. Nate didn't say anything. He just zipped up his sleeping bag and turned the other way. Soon, both boys were asleep. The next morning, Mr. Martin woke the boys. Last one to catch a fish has to clean them, he said. They all grabbed their poles and ran to the edge of the lake. Everyone caught one fish, but Mr. Martin caught the last one. He cleaned them and cooked them for breakfast. As they were eating, Andrew said, This is the best fish I've ever eaten. Thank you, Mr. Martin. I love camping. While the boys were rolling up their sleeping bags, Nate looked over at Andrew. Thanks for not disobeying last night. I was wrong and you were right. I'm glad you're my friend. Andrew smiled at Nate. Me too. Let's go find some rocks and bugs before we leave. Colossians 3:20 says, children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well-pleasing unto the Lord. And y'all, that is such an important verse because you do need to obey your parents in all things. And you're going to be home with them all summer long. You've been home with them this whole quarantine time, but you're going to be home with them for summer where you're not having schoolwork to do and you're going to maybe get to do some fun things and maybe not. Maybe there's going to be times when your parents are going to say, we can't go there and we can't do this, such a thing. Are you going to be an obedient child? When your parents are telling you something, don't give them a hard time. Don't you talk back to them. Don't you give them a hard time. Don't you give them the look. None of that, because God sees. Remember that verse, thou God seest me. God sees all of that. And even if your parents don't see the rolling of the eyes when they walk away or something, God sees it and he wants you to do what's right. So make sure that's what you're doing. Then apply it. What does the above verse mean when it says it is pleasing to God to obey your parents? What does that really mean? Then choose your friends wisely. If you are tempted to make a wrong choice, a good friend can help you do what is right. So choose friends who are not afraid to stand up for what is right, even when it's hard. Nate was glad that Andrew was that kind of friend. Okay, so that's very important. Are you that kind of friend? Are you the kind of friend that goes along with the naughtiness and just says, oh yeah, let's go ahead and do it? Or are you the kind of friend that says, no, I don't want to do the right thing. We need to choose to do what's right no matter what. Okay, that's important. Then we're going to be courteous with gratitude. Remember what gratitude is? We had it as a vocab word. Thankfulness. Very good. Using good manners at home makes your house a comfortable and enjoyable place to live. In what ways do you use manners at home? So at home with the people who are closest to me, manners show love for my family. And that's just a little phrase right there on page 142. How do you treat your family members? Let me just let that sink in for a second. How do you treat them? Are you respectful and kind? Are you patient and loving? Using manners at home is just as important as using manners in public places. It's easy to feel ungrateful for the nice things you have or the kind of things done for you. Having an attitude of gratitude will make saying thank you a daily habit. And y'all, during this time that we have, when we're, quarantined and not able to do as many things as we would like, one of the things that I've found is it's very easy to start having not as much gratitude and not being thankful for things when you have so much to be thankful for. How many times have you been in school and gone, I just want to be home with my toys and I want to be home playing video games, and now you have the chance to do it and you're like, I just wish I could go out and I just wish I could do this and I wish this would. We're never satisfied. And that's where an attitude of gratitude needs to come in. We need to be thankful wherever state we're in, to be thankful. Do you remember to say thank you when someone does something for you? When somebody does something nice for you, do you remember to say thank you? In our story today, we will see how Emma and Andrew helped themselves remember to do just that. A gratitude journal. Andrew, what should you have said to your mother for cooking your favorite dinner tonight? Dad asked. Andrew had eaten everything on his plate and asked for a second helping of meatloaf and mashed potato. Oh, sorry. I mean, that's great. I'm glad. I don't like meatloaf. But anyway, I'm sorry, Mom, Andrew said. I got so excited about dinner that I forgot to say thank you for cooking it. It was really good. You're welcome, Andrew, Mom said. I'm glad you enjoyed your dinner. Andrew cleared the table for his mom while Emma began loading the dishwasher. They both had chores to do each day. The Taylor family shared the work so that they could have free time to do fun things. When you share the work, then you have more time to do those fun things. Emma had some homework to do, so she sat at the kitchen table and opened her arithmetic book. While Emma worked, Mom quietly set a dish of cookies on the table for her to eat. Later, when her homework was done, Emma put her book into her own backpack. How many times have y'all said, well, my mom didn't put my work in there. I don't know what happened. Whose work? Your work. So who needs to put it in the backpack? You do. Y'all are going to be fourth grade. Y'all are basically officially fourth grade right now, okay? If you're a fourth grader, should your mom be packing your backpack still? No, ma'am. No, sir. Y'all need to be doing it for yourselves, okay? Emma put her own book in her own backpack. I'm proud of Emma, okay? And took it to her room. She forgot to thank her mom for the cookies, though. All that week, Andrew and Emma had a hard time remembering to say thank you when they should. Both Dad and Mom had to remind them over and over again. On the next Sunday evening after church, Mom called the children to the kitchen table. On the table were craft supplies, construction paper, scissors, yarn, stickers, and glue. I have a project for you to do, she explained. You are going to each make a gratitude journal. What does gratitude mean? Emma asked. I know what it is, Andrew said. Gratitude is being thankful. Yes, Mom said, and you two are not remembering to be thankful for things. Use these craft supplies to make a journal for yourselves. Your journal should have at least 7 pages to write on, 1 page for each day of the week. Every night before you go to bed, I want you to write in your journal at least 3 things you are thankful for. They can be special things or they can be everyday things that you sometimes don't remember to be thankful for. Emma and Andrew began working on their projects. This is a good idea for y'all. Andrew made a simple book with the word gratitude on the cover. Emma decorated her book with stickers. Both children took their journals to their bedrooms. They cleaned up the kitchen table and put all the craft supplies back in the drawer they were stored in. That night before Andrew went to bed, he opened his journal. He knew he needed to work on being thankful. He was glad he had a mom and dad who wanted him to do the right thing. So on the first line in his gratitude journal, he wrote, Mom and Dad. It was easy to think of 2 other things he was thankful for. He even began thinking of what he could write the next night. Emma was doing the same thing in her bedroom. She quickly wrote, my family, on the first line. The next 2 things Emma wrote were my church and my friends. All week, Emma and Andrew wrote in their journals. They thought about being thankful during the day, too. Mom and Dad noticed that they did not have to remind them as much about remembering to say thank you. On Saturday evening, the family gathered at the table. Emma and Andrew held their gratitude journals in their hands. They were excited to read out loud all the things they had written. Emma went first. Her journal was full of words like family, animals, stars, pizza, Ava, flowers, school, and many more. In Andrew's journal, he was thankful for his parents, Emma, football, camping, church, meatloaf, and lots of other things. Mom and Dad both had big smiles on their faces. They knew that Mom's idea was working. By taking time to think about being thankful, they became more thankful all the time. Being thankful is a good habit to develop, Dad said. The Bible tells us in Psalm 100, enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Be thankful unto him and bless his name. Because when we're thankful, we're really thanking God for the things that he's done. Thanks, Mom, Andrew said. I'm glad you had this idea. It really helped me to be thankful. Me too, Emma said. Can we do it again next week? In everything, give thanks, for this is the will of God in Christ Jesus concerning you. So you, write 3 things your parents do for you that you would write in your own gratitude journal. Think about things that you can be thankful for and write them right there on that page. And think that through carefully. Are you thankful? The opposite of gratitude is selfishness. A selfish person thinks he deserves whatever he wants. A grateful person is thankful for everything he is given. Andrew and Emma learned that practicing gratitude could help them to be thankful every day. Are you practicing gratitude or are you practicing selfishness? What might the tennis players in the photo be showing gratitude for? What does it look like they're thankful for? Each other to play with, right? Thank you for playing with me and taking that time. All of that is so important. All right, well, y'all, that's it. I'm not going to bother. I would love you to read, phone etiquette, because phone etiquette is so important. How we answer the phone, how we talk on the phone. Also learning how to put others first, because many times we forget that. Those are some other good stories, but I told you I was just going to do a couple a day, so that's all I'm going to stick to. And then at the very end, page 155, Heath, the health bee, says goodbye. You can read that poem and just say goodbye. Health is done. So that's what I just wanted to do. So I hope that y'all don't mind. I wanted to get through these books, and then we can say we really did finish 3rd grade. So y'all should be proud of yourselves. You did a good job, and I'm proud of you. But I've got another video coming, so I guess I'll have to put that last. I usually put health last, but I think I'm going to put my history video last this time, so that what I'm saying doesn't end up being a lie. Anyway, all right, I hope that you learned some good things. Gratitude and obedience. Make sure you follow those through. All right, I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.